Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your next mock draft video for you. So right now we're actually be doing the 8th position, okay? The 8th position in our 10-man PPR league. And this is actually the position I'm in one of my bigger leagues that I'm in, that I've been in for about 10 years now. So this is actually one that I've been practicing a lot. So I've got some ideas of where most players are going. So I've kind of done this one, I would say at least 50 times. So hopefully these videos have helped you guys out. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. So that way you guys get notified every time we drop a new video to help you out for this upcoming season. If you also want to ask us questions besides in the comment section, follow us on Twitter or Instagram. That way you guys can DM us any questions you guys have for your draft, lineup, injury questions, all that different stuff. That way you are prepared for the season. We are now into August. That means preseason. Got to make sure you're looking at the injuries, who stands out, who might move up in the depth chart, and we're going to help make that easy for you guys with all the ranking videos. So let's jump right into this. We are going into the 8th position. So again, this is actually where I am at currently drafting in one of my bigger leagues that I'm in. So again, I have done this way too many times. So let's get this started, and I will tell you kind of my thought process and kind of what my team would kind of look like for the most part. I do have some buddies on my team that are a little crazy and don't draft necessarily the traditional way, but I will kind of hopefully keep it that way. So you see again, running backs, Tyreek at number 6 is super high. Usually you see him towards the end, maybe the 9th or 10th pick, maybe early second round, depending on what's going on. So with that said, and I see Chubb and Zeke, I'm actually going to go with Zeke here, being that he's a stud running back. I like what's going to happen with him. He's lost some weight in camp. He looks really good, so I'm super pumped for that. Now I've got Ezekiel Elliott. You see Chubb, Kelsey, Jones, Diggs. I would have loved to have gotten Jones in the second round, and I'm okay with not getting him. That's okay. I like Jones a lot, and I would have loved to. I'm actually going to end up going receiver here. Normally I go 2 running backs, and I'll let you know why. Right here, you got to get a stud receiver at this point. There are some good running backs, but nothing I'm super crazy about, okay? I can get a good running back in the 3rd round. So I'm actually going to go Devontae Adams here, who is an absolute beast every single year. He was number 1 last year in fantasy, and hopefully he repeats that. You know, Aaron Rodgers got some stuff to prove, and so does Adams, being that he's on his contract year. So I like and trust Adams big time. So now again, you see some of the running backs here. You got Gibson, you got DeAndre Swift. I'm not really sold on those guys quite yet. These aren't like studs, so I'm actually going to end up looking at wide receiver or tight end. And in this case, I'm actually going to end up going tight end, only because you can get McLaurin or Robinson easily in the 4th round if I want to go that route, or you get another good receiver in the 5th round. So having a really good tight end is really hard to get. I'm actually going to go Darren Waller in here. Darren Waller is an absolute beast. I wouldn't be surprised if one day he ends up being the number 1 tight end in fantasy. He usually ends up being 2nd, 3rd, depending on what's going on with Kelsey and Kittle. Kelsey usually number 1, right? So you see Gibson and Swift go out there. McLaurin, again, like I said, McLaurin, you can get in the 4th. I could go Robinson, but I'm actually going to end up going, this is kind of a reach, guys, only because I want a good running back for me. I'm actually going to end up going with David Montgomery. Montgomery has been promised. Again, things may change, but right now, Nagy has been promising about 20-plus touches for Montgomery. So yeah, it's a little bit of a reach for me, and I wouldn't be normally going after that, but just because I didn't get a running back before, I want to absolutely get him there. So I've got 2 running backs, receiver, a great tight end. Now let's look at receivers again, right? We want to fill in our receiver spots. So you got Kupp, Woods, Chase, Thielen, Lockett, some great options here. I'm actually going to end up going to Robert Woods. I think he's a little more consistent than Cooper Kupp. I think, you know, Cooper Kupp about 2 years ago had really one good year. That was amazing. He had a good last year. Don't get me wrong. But I like Robert Woods a little bit more. He's a little more consistent at wide receiver. All right. 6th round. This is where it gets a little bit interesting, right? So this is where I see some people go quarterback, which is okay. You got, you know, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott here. Some great options. You can also go to maybe another receiver. Kind of fill in the, you know, flex spots, some bye weeks, things like that, and you've got some great options in Lockett, Galladay. You know, we'll see how things go with him and Daniel Jones. I like Brandon Ayuk a lot. He's an absolute stud, so he's one I do like. And if you look at running backs, you got Darrell Henderson, who is great. Myles Gaskin I like, and I like James Robinson. So you could really go any way you want in these particular spots. I'm actually going to go Darrell Henderson just because you're getting a starting running back in the 6th round, especially for LA. I like what they're going to do with him. They're going to run the ball. They're going to help make sure that Stafford is in a good position to win this season. I like it. I like Darrell Henderson. He did really well last year for LA. So my boy quarterback at Prescott's gone, Herbert's gone, but I'm actually going to fill up running backs at Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, right? You know, you look at the two, and Aaron Rodgers did an amazing job, ended up being MVP of the season last year. I like him a lot, and having the fact that I've got Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, I like pairing quarterbacks with receivers if you can do that. You get double the points, which is awesome, especially when you hate rooting for the other team, right? So I actually like that. The only thing that gives Russell Wilson the edge is the rushing capability. He's a great throwing quarterback. He's got some good weapons out there. And I'm actually going to end up squeaking by with some Russell Wilson there. Even though, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is one I can easily go after, kind of pair with my receiver. But I actually like Russell Wilson just a little bit better than Aaron Rodgers. All right. So now the rest of the draft is filling in depth, tight ends, if you want to have a backup tight end, things like that. So you look at receivers and look at running backs, right? So receivers and running backs. So I've got two of each. Two running backs, 3 receivers. I'm not crazy about these draft picks. A little too early for me. So actually, I'm going to look at receivers. I like Chase Claypool a lot. He looked really good in the Hall of Fame game. If you guys watched that, even though it was a little bit of push off. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan. I get it. Okay, it was a little bit of a push off. But I like Chase Claypool a lot. I think he's got some great upside for him, and he could end up being one of the more dominant. Juju, that's not somebody I would go after. At least not this high. I think Juju is going to get surpassed by Claypool and Deontay Johnson. I'm not crazy about Juju Smith at all. So, hey, if you can, just sit him back and relax, all right? So I actually like Trey Sermon here. Trey Sermon is one of those who's been talked up heavily in 49ers camp. The rookie coming in. Mostert is the guy. Mostert also has been injured a lot. And I know in past I've drafted him a lot. And again, I've drafted him based off of bye week fills, some flex games, things like that. Not as my actual starter. Same thing I would treat Sermon. Since Mostert's gone, I like Sermon a lot there. Now let's go back to receivers. So I can get, 2 more? Yeah, 2 more receivers. Wow. I thought I dropped them all. So you look at these weapons here. You got Landry, Marquis Brown, Tyler Boyd. I like Marquis Brown a lot. They've been really loving what they've seen in camp for him. I know he's burned a lot of people in the past. A lot of people are like, well, I had him last year, and he did not do well for me. He kind of burned me a little bit as I traded for him, but he ended up coming up with a few clutch games for me, so I'm okay with that. I'm actually going to end up going a backup tight end. I'm not crazy about these running backs. Zach Moss and Singletary will be splitting time. Not crazy. I could probably get a Gus Edwards or Tony Pollard towards the end. I do like having Pollard in my handcuffed to Ezekiel Elliott, so we'll hopefully wait and get him a little bit later. So I'm actually going to fill in at tight end. I like Irv Smith a lot. He's been another option as far as a good backup tight end, possibly even starter if you guys didn't draft a tight end high, where you can get somebody that's going to be a good, I would say, red zone option. Kirk Cousins likes him a lot. Did really well last year when he filled in with Kyle Rudolph being out. Now I'm actually going to end up going Tony Pollard. I know it's a little high here, but I'm actually going to go Tony Pollard just because I don't want to lose him. So I like Pollard here to handcuff with Ezekiel Elliott, just in case, worst case scenario. And it's not something I hope ever happens, but I want to make sure I have insurance policy for that. So if you can't ever do that and you have the luxury, always draft the backup running back to your starting running back if possible. Just because there's so many injuries. If you can do that, it will always, you'll be happier in the end that you did it. Okay. So I've got 4 receivers here: Adams, Woods, Claypool, and Marquis Brown. I'm actually going to look at another receiver here, and I love Elijah Moore. I like him a lot. Henry Ruggs is another one that a lot of people are kind of sitting on, and he's one that you would not be shocked about, what's going to happen with him. But I like Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore has been highly talked about. Go Washington football team. Again, you got a great football defensive team. They're probably one of the better ones in the league besides, Tampa, Rams, Ravens. Those are some, obviously, your studs there. Then we look at kickers. Now, hopefully, my boy Zerline, because I like going after Zerline a lot. Again, being a Cowboy fan. And, of course, again, I like what's going to happen with that offense. I really do trust and believe that offense is going to score. So I feel really good. Again, this is kind of what I've been practicing in my own drafts, in mock drafts. I've been seeing Ezekiel Elliott falling anywhere from the 5th to the 8th spot. So if he's always in the 8th spot, I'm always grabbing him. If not, then I'm looking at another running back, maybe a Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, things like that. But I like where I'm at. I've got great receivers. I like the running back options I've got here. I've got some great backups. Got good depth here. Again, this is where I'm at in my draft. Hopefully this helps you guys if you're in the 8th position in a 10-man league. I will be dropping some 12-man league as well because a lot of you guys have been asking for that. So I will make sure we got some videos for you guys to help out because the season is right here. I want to get those done as soon as possible for you guys. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, also that notification bell. Follow us on our socials. Again, DM us if you have any questions you have for the season. If you did like this content, be sure to hit the like button. It's always appreciated and always helps with the algorithm. And also, comment down below. If you guys feel like my draft is a little sus, maybe you guys want to make some changes there, maybe like what you saw, hey, let us know. Maybe we've helped you guys out in your fantasy drafts. Hopefully you're not drafted too early, but hopefully we helped you out. And I'll check you guys out next time.